Question 1. What is the effect of a continuing offense on the period of limitation? A. The period of limitation ends after the first instance of the offense. B. A fresh period of limitation begins at every moment during the offense continues. C. The period of limitation is not applicable for continuing offenses. Or D. A fresh period of limitation starts after the final judgment in the case. Answer B. Explanation. Section 518, continuing offense. In the case of a continuing offense, a fresh period of limitation shall begin to run at every moment of the time during which the offense continues. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Question 2. Section 507 of BNSS deals with A. Irregularities which vitiate proceedings. B. Irregularities which do not vitiate proceedings. C. Power to sell perishable property. Or D. None of the above. Answer A. Explanation. Section 507 deals with irregularities which vitiate proceedings. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 3. Whether an accused can be required to execute bail bonds to appear before the higher court before the conclusion of the trial and disposal of the appeal. A. Yes, as per section 481 of the BNSS. B. No, only after the conclusion of the trial. C. Only after conviction by the trial court. Or D. None of the above. Answer A. Explanation. Section 481. Bail to require accused to appear before the next appellate court. 1. Before conclusion of the trial and before disposal of the appeal, the court trying the offence or the appellate court, as the case may be, shall require the accused to execute a bond or bail bond to appear before the higher court as and when such court issues notice in respect of any appeal or petition filed against the judgment of the respective court, and such bond shall be enforced for 6 months. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 4. Which section of the BNSS states that when an offence is tried by the High Court otherwise than under section 447 of the said Sanhita, it shall observe the same procedure as a court of sessions? A. Section 518. B. Section 519. C. Section 520. Or D. Section 521. Answer C. Explanation. Section 520. Trials before High Courts. Where an offence is tried by the High Court otherwise than under section 447, it shall in the trial of the offence observe the same procedure as a court of sessions would observe if it were trying the case. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 5. According to the BNSS 2023, the term period of limitation means the period specified under section blank for taking cognizance of an offence. A. 510, B. 512, C. 514 or D. 516. Answer C. Explanation. Section 513 definitions. For the purposes of this chapter, unless the context otherwise requires, period of limitation means the period specified in section 514 for taking cognizance of an offence. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 6. In which of the following cases the Supreme Court laid down the principles of granting anticipatory bail? A. Gurbaksh Singh versus State of Punjab. B. Indira Gandhi versus Delhi Administration. C. Maneka Gandhi versus Delhi Administration. Or D. Lalu Yadav versus State of Bihar. Answer A. Explanation. The landmark case where the Supreme Court laid down the principles of granting anticipatory bail is Gurbaksh Singh Sibia versus State of Punjab 1980. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Question 7. According to section 125 of BNSS 2023, if a conviction of an accused is set aside on appeal, the bond or bail bond so executed shall A. Remain valid. B. The person must apply for cancellation. C. Becomes void. Or D. None of the above. Answer C. Explanation. Section 125. Security for keeping peace on conviction. 3. If the conviction is set aside on appeal or otherwise, the bond or bail bond executed shall become void. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 8. Which section of BNSS 2023 deals with local inquiry? A. Section 164, B. Section 165, C. Section 167, or D. Section 169. Answer C. Explanation: Section 167, Local Inquiry. 1. Whenever a local inquiry is necessary for the purposes of Section 164, Section 165, or Section 166, a district magistrate or subdivisional magistrate may depute any magistrate subordinate to him to make the inquiry and may furnish him with such written instructions as may seem necessary for his guidance, and may declare by whom the whole or any part of the necessary expenses of the inquiry shall be paid. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Question 9 under section 174, clause 4 of BNSS. If a case involves both cognizable and non-cognizable offences, it shall be treated as a non-cognizable case, B. The competent magistrate will decide, C. A cognizable case, D. None of the above. Answer C. Explanation: Section 174, Information as to non-cognizable cases and investigation. 4. Where a case relates to two or more offences of which at least one is cognizable, the case shall be deemed to be a cognizable case. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Practice question: during the investigation of a rape case, Priya, 22 years old, is brought to a government hospital for medical examination. The registered medical practitioner conducts the examination without obtaining her consent and prepares the report. Based on section 184 of the BNSS, which of the following is correct? A. The examination is valid since it was done within 24 hours by a registered medical practitioner. B. Consent is not mandatory if the examination is conducted in a government hospital. C. The examination is invalid as it was done without Priya's consent, violating section 184. Or D. The examination is valid because Priya is above 18 and presumed to have given implied consent.